Alright everyone, so welcome to part 4 of the Brock Turner case analysis. So we're going to look at some of Brock's transgressions that weren't really brought up in court or weren't really acknowledged. So, Brock Turner actually took pictures of his victim's breasts during the attack. And I'm going to read you the key points from this article. It says, police suspect that Brock Turner photographed the 23-year-old woman he raped outside a Stanford frat house. Just after a message from one of his swim friends appeared on his phone, whose tits is that? Witnesses had told how they saw Turner standing over his victim with his phone, and the phone had its light on. Detectives were unable to find evidence of a picture on his phone, but found he was using a group messaging app called GroupMe. It allows anyone in the group to delete messages from it, which would have effect of making pictures untraceable. Turner's 6-month sentence has been widely condemned and led to calls for the judge who imposed it to be removed from office. So, it's very clear that Brock was not the only one who had fun with this unconscious young woman that we only know as Emily Doe. He took pictures of her and sent them, distributed unsolicited, sexually explicit pictures to people who he just knew. He thought, hey, maybe they'd enjoy some tits on their phone. Now, the thing about GroupMe is not only can you delete pictures from it, you can delete messages too, and they're practically untraceable. That's what a lot of terrorists or criminals use, because you can't really trace anything. It's kind of just lost in cyberspace. And I've looked at the GroupMe app, and I personally think it should be banned, because you shouldn't be, like, they say when something is on the internet or electronic, it's there forever, and the GroupMe app shows that that's not technically true. I think the GroupMe app should be illegal. If you are a criminal or have a criminal history, you shouldn't even be allowed to download it, but that's just my opinion. So, as you can see, Brock had no problems raping this girl or sending pictures to his friends. She was just a plaything to him, it seems. So we're also going to look at something that the Stanford female swim team had to say about Brock. So, Stanford women's swim team vowed never to be alone with rapist Brock Turner because of his lewd behavior, but were pressured by university not to write a letter to the judge. And this ties in, they're from Stanford. I think since the judge was from Stanford, there was some favoritism there. But anyway, female swimmers claim that Turner would comment on their appearances. He allegedly said to one female athlete, "I can see your tits in that swimsuit." And it says that the Ohio native's behavior allegedly forced one swimmer to stay away. Team members then discussed writing to the judge about his actions, but one swimmer claims that they were pressured not to by Stanford officials. They were kind of told to just be quiet and not mention him at all. The university has denied these allegations and continues to do so, adding that the students can say what they wish. So, what this tells me right here is that they knew that he was kind of odd, to say the least. And I've also read an article where some girls say that they are not surprised by what he did, but they weren't at the party, so they couldn't do anything, and also that they fully stand behind the victim. That's good. That's good that you're standing behind her and not him just because he's a classmate. What this also tells me is that there had to be something in Brock, whether it was his upbringing, nature versus nurture, learned it from watching or by example. Something had to tell him it was okay to say these things and do these things and scare these girls. And I think had they actually written a letter, I think this may have helped give him a harsher sentence. So there's another article that I am not in the least bit surprised about, where it said that Brock Turner creeped out other women at Stanford parties, including his rape victim's sister, before he raped this unconscious woman behind a dumpster. So, according to statements from women who actually encountered Brock, they said he was aggressive and touchy and made uninvited advances at frat parties. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, hey, it's a frat party, people get drunk and, they do crazy shit. That's true. That's very true. I'm not gonna lie. Alcohol lowers inhibitions greatly, depending on how much you drink and how well you hold your liquor and all these factors. But the girl says no once. She means no. She's not playing hard to get. So, on the weekend of January 10th, 2015, a week before the sexual assault, Turner made unwelcome passes at a woman at a Kappa Alpha party, and she was just on the campus visiting a friend. She wasn't part of Stanford's student body. Now, the report is that Turner made these unwelcome passes at her on that date in a 470-page document released from the Santa Clara County courts. So this is official. So at one point during that night, Turner joined the woman and her friend while they were dancing on a table, and he started grabbing her from behind and groping her upper thighs. Now, this is kindergarten stuff, personal space. If you don't touch someone unless they give you permission, this is first grade kindergarten stuff, and I don't know why he doesn't understand this. So, later into the night, Brock continued to be creepy. The woman told investigators that she felt uncomfortable and tried to turn her body away so that he would not be directly behind her, and that Turner creeped her out because of his persistence. Now, maybe Brock thinks she's playing hard to get. Oh my gosh, yes, the challenge, the chase. I love women who play hard to get. But that was not the case. She was really freaked out, and I would be too. So on the night of the sexual assault, Turner preyed on the younger sister of Emily Doe at the frat party. And what he did was he attempted to kiss her while she was talking to another boy outside of the frat house. And she thought these advances were odd because they hadn't talked much and there was no flirting. She, it just seemed totally unprovoked or uninvited in any way, shape, or form. So later on in the night, Turner tried to steal a kiss from the sister again a second time. And he grabbed her. And she says this time he put his hands... Oh, I'm sorry. The court documents read that this time he put his hands on her waist and she had to move away from him. So, shortly after that, the victim's sister left in order to escort a drunk friend home. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. So, it's very clear here that Turner is maybe girl crazy. I don't know. Maybe he's like a nymphomaniac. I don't know. But he also admitted to kissing other girls at that party. And the victim this is actually a quote from the victim to the judge. He admitted to kissing other girls at that party, one of whom was my own sister, who pushed him away. He admitted to wanting to hook up with someone. I was the wounded antelope of the herd, completely alone and vulnerable. And if we're saying that Brock seems predatory, that is extremely true. Predators pick on the weak, the young, and the defenseless, the wounded. They choose someone who can be easily separated from the herd and easily taken down. So that's exactly what he did. Basically, he found someone who was unfamiliar with the place and just wanted to have fun with her sister and have a good time, and was like, this is my chance. So maybe Brock is an nymphomaniac. Maybe he loves the idea of a drunk, unconscious girl under him. Maybe it's like a power trip for him. I don't know what's wrong with Brock Turner, and I'm sorry, something in my eye. And I highly doubt I will ever know. I'd really love to just like pick apart his mind. But I will say this much. I will say there are some things here that I can definitely see replicated in other rapists and murderers or necrophiliacs, where they pick on the young, the weak, the defenseless, or they lull them into a false sense of security, much like Ted Bundy did. Just people who you can easily take down. That's exactly what Brock Turner did. And I think that, personally, in my opinion, I think he knew what he was doing when he took this young woman and said, hey, I'm gonna take her and I may do something wrong, but if I don't get caught, what they don't know won't hurt them. Right? So if you guys know what's wrong with Brock Turner or have any ideas, please let me know. I'd be really interested to hear them, and I'd really love to make a video on them, so if you could message me and just, if you wanted to make a collab, give me a little information, and I'll try and see if I can make that happen. I think it'd be really fun and really interesting just to, just kind of go back and look at it and get some other points of view, some other viewpoints on what may be wrong with this crazy, crazy lunatic. So, that's part 4. Part 5, we're gonna look at some letters and some quotes from these letters, and we're just gonna analyze them a little, and there's gonna be some snarky remarks. So I will see you guys in part 5, letters and quotes.